Mike Castle is one of the most popular political figures in Delaware history. Will he run again? I ask him. This is the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Mendte. Welcome to the Delaware Way. We are very proud right now to be joined by the former governor of Delaware, former congressman from Delaware, former lieutenant governor from Delaware. The titles go on and on and on. Mike Castle, thank you so much, sir, for joining us here today. What are you doing now?
I am a partner in the very large law firm of DLA Piper. I have offices in Wilmington, Delaware, and Washington, D.C.
Every time there is any election, your name comes up. People say, are we going to get Mike Castle to run? Is Mike Castle going to run again? Is your political career over?
My political career is over for two reasons. One, age. I think at some point you have to drop out. And secondly, Jane, my lovely wife, would probably abandon ship if I tried to run for office again. She'd had enough.
Is that right? I mean, does it really take that much out of you running again? Because I would think with your reputation and your name, you could win easily if you wanted to run
Well,
again.
Potentially I could, but I'm not going to test that. And, you know, we're looking forward to ultimate real retirement and that kind of thing. So, you know, the political life is behind me at this point.
Has politics changed immensely since the last time you ran for office?
It's changed somewhat. I mean, I think when I ran for office was sort of the high point of the Tea Party. That year, they got people nominated. They caused the Republican Party to lose elections. Everyone thought they were going to win, including mine. And that was a major factor for them. But in the last couple of elections, that sort of diminished a little bit. And the more mainstream Republicans have sort of become aware they need to counter this, and they've done a pretty good job of it.
Well, let me bring, I wasn't going to bring that up till later, but let's talk about that now. It was 2010, it was the Senate primary. You were expected to win the general election pretty easily. You were way ahead in all of the polls, and it was the rise of the Tea Party. And you were probably the first victim of the Tea Party, the first person they went after. Nobody really knew that they had that kind of political clout. And Christine O'Donnell somehow beat you in the primary. I want to ask several questions about that, but the first question is, just when it happened, or when it was happening, did you think that could be the outcome when they started to gain power and they came to the state?
I thought it probably would not be the outcome. If I had thought it was likely it could be the outcome, clearly we would have done a lot more than we did. We did almost no advertising or whatever. They spent their money well. I'll give them credit for that. They came in at the last minute and pumped in a lot of money. I wasn't the first, actually. Lisa Murkowski in Alaska was the first, and she had called me. I knew her a little bit, and she called me. She said, Mike, be careful, these people. They're very clever. They're very good. And I said to her, Senator, I have it totally under control. Clearly I didn't.
No, I can see why you thought you did, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
and as you say, the polls were very favorable, and we were focused on the general election. And unfortunately didn't pay enough heed to it. I'll take the bullet on that one. I don't think we did a good job.
When you lost, what was your emotions?
Well, I was very disappointed. I mean, I expected to win. I did not feel that Christine O'Donnell could win the general election, which I thought was a problem for the Republican Party in addition to my loss. And it was very disappointing, disconcerting. I expected to serve the last 4 years of Senator Biden's term, probably not run again. But that occasion didn't arise.
Did it turn you off to politics completely at that point?
Not really. I've still supported Republicans. I've not thought about switching parties or anything of that nature. I was very involved in Ken Simpler's campaign. He was elected state treasurer of Delaware last election and is a very formidable candidate for the future, a very qualified young man. So
he sat here and said he's never going to run for political office again. That's what he told me. I asked him, I said, look, your name, just like you, because he won election and the Republican Party is not doing well in Delaware right now. I said, you're the name everybody keeps talking about. Are you going to run? And he said, I don't think so. I think I'm going to do this and not run again. Are you telling me that may not be the case?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Ken much since the election, but he clearly could run for re-election as treasurer and eventually run for governor or Congress or whatever it may be, and hopefully he will. We haven't had that little heart-to-heart talk yet. I'm sorry to hear the news you're giving me right now.
No, he is impressive, and I know that the Republican Party would like him to run. The Republican Party, well, first let me talk about 2010. One more question about that. Because I had a friend that was in the Tea Party in Philadelphia, and they were rabid. He was, and it's fair to portray it that way, even though he's a friend. And when they lost the U.S. Senate that year, and they should have won, you would have won, and there was other people across the country that would have won, in Nevada, and you talked about Alaska, and they would have won the Senate. I said, well, way to go. You just lost the Senate. And he said, doesn't matter. We wanted to make a point, and we made it. I'm not sure what the point was. Do you know? I
have no idea what the point was. And I think that they sort of licked their wounds a little bit and have sort of melded into the Republican Party a little bit more now themselves, and understand that without control numbers-wise, you're not going to get much done in the Congress of the United States, and some of their candidates just can't win. And now that they understand that, I think they're being a little more cautious about the kinds of people they put up for these various seats in the primaries. Even though they might be able to win the primary, they can't win the general election, and that's a problem. They seem to have some sway in the House, though. Oh, they do. It's a combination. It's not just Tea Party. There are a lot of very conservative Republicans, good politicians, good public servants who do have a lot of sway, but they don't necessarily relate to the Tea Party. There are a few who say, well, I'm Tea Party, but they're Republicans first, too. And as a result, they can be a force and be a problem at times for the leaders of the House and the Senate. Now, I would say that the House and the Senate in the last, I'm going to say 2 to 3 months, have done pretty well. I think they got off to a rocky start back in January, February, but of late they've been getting a number of things done, and they're showing some real achievement. And I think some of those people who are involved in that Tea Party type movement are realizing that it behooves the Republican Party to have success in the Congress. Did they hurt the country, the Tea Party? I don't think they helped the country. I think there were good people who were defeated, who could have served and done well. My sense is that you know, they have hurt the party somewhat, but on the other hand, they have some areas in which I have a great deal of belief too. They're fiscally conservative, and I think we do need to do something about spending, not just at the federal level, but the state and local level as well. I think those are good points. So they make some good points. I don't agree with them on many of the social issues and some of the other things, but they make some valid points. So it's not been a totally negative experience. Well, they considered you a moderate Republican. Are there any more moderate Republicans? Yeah, there are a few moderate Republicans. In the Senate? Yeah, in the Senate and in the House. There's a group called the Republican Main Street Partnership that I was involved with, and a group called the Tuesday Group in the House of Representatives that's made up of mostly moderates, and they're both very active, and they raise money, and they support certain candidates who think more in the middle of the Republican Party than on the very conservative side of it. I want to talk about the presidential field because moderation and conservatism plays a part there. I want to talk to him about you. Good luck to you. We'll talk to former Governor Mike Castle when the Delaware Way continues.